With Dragon Dogma 2 being nearly a month away from release, players are getting anxious for a release of a demo for the long-awaited sequel. Many players, myself included, have been awaiting what would be a public release of the demo, which is known for major Capcom titles. Games by Capcom including Resident Evil 4 and Street Fighter 6 have all showcased different demos before the official release of their product. So it is expected that Dragon Dogma 2 will be following suit and releasing a demo relatively soon. This morning when I woke up, I did notice that a new article had been posted by List23, seeming to suggest that SteamDB did have an entry for a free on-demand product that was linked to Dragon Dogma 2 waiting in the wings. To follow up on this claim, I did go to the SteamDB page for Dragon Dogma 2 and looked at the update history to see if there were any linked sub-IDs that might be affected by potential package releases. Given that the article released literally this morning, I decided to look at the most recent changes for Dragon Dogma 2 to see if I could follow up on any information. I specifically scrolled down to change number 2236638, which seems to affect one other app other than the main release of Dragon Dogma 2. When clicking on this link, I can see that an app ID 2674810 is linked to a SteamDB unknown app, and when that is opened and we go to the packages section, we can see that a sub ID 958296 seems to have a billing type of free on demand with the last update of being 3 days ago. Now the info we get from this sub ID is very interesting. As you can see under the additional information section, we have a billing type of free on demand, a license type of single purchase, and a status of available 0, which means that it is currently unavailable. This would suggest, of course, that we have a free product that is yet to be released to the public and is specifically attached to Dragon Dogma 2, or at least a package that was also included with Dragon Dogma 2. And if we go down to the depot section, we can see that indeed it seems to have a depot that is available for this specific sub-ID. For those of you that don't know, a depot is a package or container within the Steam content delivery system that holds files associated with a particular game or application. This definition pulled from ChatGPT. It's important to know that the files can include game executables, assets, audio files, textures, basically everything you need to play and run a game. ChatGPT also mentions that a game might have separate depots for different releases such as Windows, macOS, Linux versions, other languages and localizations, but also beta builds and demo versions, which is the most interesting to me. Now, while this is good information, I don't believe that it is definitive proof. However, if we go down to the update history section, we can see all the different changes that have been applied to this particular sub-ID, with the earliest being the 30th of October of 2023, and this is when the sub-ID itself was added. If we go to the change number 208-92978, and we again confirm that this is a SteamDB unknown app 2674810, if we go just one entry before, we can see that this is indeed associated with the game Dragon Dogma 2, and Dragon Dogma 2 has an update in their history on the same exact day. All this to say that it does appear like Dragon Dogma 2 and this unknown app are indeed associated with each other, and the fact that we have a sub-ID that has a free on-demand section with a depot deposited in it indicating game files, we can probably assume that this is a demo of some sort and that one isn't too terribly far away. I mean, if you think about it, we got a demo back in Tokyo Game Show all the way back in September, and that gave us 3 separate options to play as 3 separate vocations. So now that we're about 5 months removed from that date, I would imagine we're getting something much bigger in the demo release. I'd also like to point out that Capcom released the Street Fighter 6 demo over a month before its release, so a demo might be just around the corner. Of course, as with all information pertaining to game files, SteamDB releases and everything, take this with a grain of salt. It does not mean that a demo is right around the corner, but it could mean it. So with that being said, hopefully this gets your spirits up, and with that, I'll talk to you again real soon.